and welcome to another Circle of Light movement live. I'm Lucy Brand.
Hi there, and I'm Natasha Harris. Exciting to be back. Can't believe it's Friday again.
It's come around so quickly. January's just flying by.
No, it really is. So I'm just going to share this to a couple of places so that we can get a few people coming and joining us. So I will hand over to the lovely Lucy for a moment.
Thank you. Yes, so we're really excited about this topic today, how to have fun in life and business, even in challenging times. We've got a very relevant example to give you from Circle of Light Movement headquarters about us, and because this is a journey for us as well. As those of you that know us will know that we only created this last year. We created Circle of Light Movement and delivered a mastermind, marketed it all and everything within 2 months. It was definitely source-led for both of us.
Yeah.
So there are changes, because I think in these times of great change, you have to be flexible as a business owner, or even just generally in life, you have to be very flexible at the moment. So we really want to speak into that, being able to be flexible, but also being able to have fun at the same time, you know, really enjoy these times, even if they are challenging. It's all about perspective, and it's about a perspective coming from the light. Yeah. If you are joining us live today, then please let us know. I see there are some people joining us live. So, yeah, I know, super excited. Please join the conversation. If you've got any questions for us, then please put them in the comments, and also say where you're watching us from, because we always like to know. And if you're watching the replay, please hashtag replay. And if you have any questions, we will answer them later for sure.
Yeah, we love to answer a few questions. This is, you know, I think for doing these lives, it's lovely to be doing them with the beautiful Lucy. You know, as I loved what you said about Circle of Light Movement headquarters in 2 locations.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just been just lovely to be able to just have a conversation with people, engage in a conversation with others who are really standing up for the light, who want to come and dance in the light with us, as Lucy said. And yeah, today we want to talk about how having fun in business and in life is so important during these challenging times. So yeah, great conversation.
We've got 3 tips to share with you today. So I think, should we just get into the tips? Because I feel like that it will just come out at what happened for us this week. So the first tip we've got for you is the importance of being honest with yourself. This is super important, because if you're not honest with yourself, how can you be honest with others? And as we know, even if being honest with yourself is going to be really challenging, so perhaps it's your relationship, perhaps it's your business just isn't working, perhaps it's the finances and you're scared to go there. We all know if you shine a light on that monster, then it normally is a friendly kitten. Or if it's not, then at least you can then take action into moving forward and through that and putting a plan in place. And then the more you do that, the more you take action on that situation, it becomes less scary and more manageable, and you can deal with it. Because never forget, you are a powerful being. You are the creator of your own reality. So if you're fearful of something, law of attraction, you're going to create more fear. You're going to create more of that thing that you're scared of. Whereas you can be brave and be honest with yourself, and you don't even have to be honest with anyone else at this point. The first step is being honest with yourself.
Not always the easiest part, mind.
That is true. That is very true. And then you can bring the light, which then brings the fun. And before you know it, you can be laughing about the situation. Honestly, you can be laughing about it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's so interesting when we really are honest with ourselves. You know, as I said, it is the hardest part sometimes. It's easy to be honest with other people when they're doing something wrong that's impacting you, and to tell them what they're doing. But actually being honest with ourselves and what's not working for us can be really, really challenging and really tricky, because it requires a certain level of ability to reflect inwardly and say, okay, well, what's going on? What's needed here? But being honest with yourself is so powerful. And it really, as Lucy says, just lets you shine a light on it and like to ask yourself questions. What's going on here? Why is this feeling sticky? Why is this feeling, not quite aligned? Because it is about non-alignment. If something feels tricky or hard, it's because it's not aligned. You're trying to fit in. You're trying to push, trying to fit into a box that's not your box. You're trying to create an environment where people will accept you because it's acceptable in society. And so that is really where it's really difficult and challenging sometimes to be honest with ourselves and to say that things don't really work. I've always found that, when I'm fearful of something, because if we're not being honest, it creates that fear around everything. And I've noticed that when I take my fear or my worry or my stress or my anxiety or my upset around something, and I take it by the hand and I go, okay, like, what's going on here? What am I upset about? What am I feeling stressed about? What am I worrying about? And I talk to it a little bit like my inner child, because as I know that if you leave a child to have a temper tantrum and they're like raging inside and you just shut the door on them, it's going to get worse. And we would never do that to a child. We would go in and we would soothe the child and say, hey, what's going on? What's the matter? What's going on for you? Talk to me, let me know so we can let it out. This is what we want to do with our own emotions. And I find that being honest from that perspective allows me to really just soothe that element of me and shine a light on it and go, okay, we can sort this out. This isn't so bad. I'm building this up. So let's be honest about this and what can we do?
Yeah, I love that. And I especially love the alignment piece, out of alignment. And I think that leads into, if you aren't being honest with yourself and you're not in alignment, then you're also out of integrity. And that's such a thing that, especially in these times of great change and challenge, it's all about being having integrity. I'm stumbling on that word. And the other thing I wanted to say was, where do you need to be honest with yourself? Like, leave a comment. Let us know, where do you need to be honest with yourself? Because when you put it out there, it's no longer got a hold over you. I always think about, for me, it's the scene in one of my all-time favorite movies is Labyrinth with David Bowie in it. And there's that moment where Sarah says, you have no power over me. She finally remembers the line. And I always think that my beliefs or anything, or even other people, it's like that realization, you have no power over me. I'm a powerful being. I have power over my emotions, over my thoughts, over my actions. I'm really coming from that place. And when you come from that place, that's where you're being honest with yourself. That's when you're in integrity. And that's where you're in alignment.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like, no one can take our power away from us unless we give it to them. That is our responsibility, to be in our power, stay in our power, stay in alignment, stay in integrity, stay in honesty. And, as Lucy says, there is so much fakery out there right now. People who are really trying really hard because of everything that's going on in this challenge. We're acting and we're taking action out of fear of lack. So there is a lot of people out there who are really jumping on the bandwagons because they're so afraid of not doing something, that they're doing something that's so out of alignment, it just doesn't come across, and they wonder why it doesn't work. They're putting all this effort in, they're putting in this push. So what is honesty to you? What is in alignment to you? What is in integrity to you with what you're doing, how you're showing up with friends, family, in your business, with your community? How are you showing up that's in a way that is just honestly you, simply you?
And yeah, exactly. Because the thing is, when you do that, it's easier to have fun. That's the point. It's so much easier to have fun when you're just being you and you're being honest.
Yeah.
And just also to speak into what Natasha just said about the pushing, that's another side. If you're pushing and it's challenging, then it's not in alignment, because it's supposed to be in flow. It's supposed to be easy and joyful and fun. And that's something that we both learned last year when in creating the Circle of Light movement. We now had so much fun, like so much laughter, and we created something within 2 months and delivered it. That's what was so amazing. And so I think to speak into the second one, which comes on from what Natasha's just said, it's about don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in, even if it goes against convention, especially if it goes against convention in this moment, because it's the old paradigm and we're going into the new. We're in the new paradigm, which is all about love, unity, compassion, and collaboration and communities. It's not about competition anymore. So if you feel in your soul that something is old paradigm and it doesn't work for you and it's out of alignment and out of integrity, then obviously do it with kindness and respect, but speak your truth. Because otherwise what will happen is, it's like if you swallow it, if you swallow that frustration, that anger, that, you know, that competition, whatever it might be that's causing you to be out of alignment, then it will manifest into something horrible and come out at the most inappropriate moment. I know for sure this has happened throughout my time before my healing journey, just swallowing that anger, swallowing that frustration, and then it just coming out at a really bad time.
It doesn't quite come out how we want it to be, and you know that's never good. It doesn't do us any good, doesn't do anyone else any good, and then no one really wants to listen anyway, do they? That's what I've always found. It's like, oh, there she goes again. So you know, it's like, really, you know, don't be afraid to speak up, and like, just, you know, on the back of that, it doesn't have to be shouty. You don't have to sit there, and by communicating, you don't have to make a point. You don't have to force someone to believe in your opinion. They might be entrenched in fear and old paradigm stuff and not being able to move towards the new because that feels too scary. But if you can communicate and speak up about your truth in a way that's fun, kind, generous, loving, that is everything to do with new paradigm, people will go, oh, well, that's interesting. They've come up. And so, you know, this isn't about telling people. This is about sowing seeds. This is about being generous with your offerings and what you can share with people. It is their choice whether or not they take that and listen and want to hear it, but you're sowing a seed nonetheless. It's up to them to water. The number of times I've heard with clients or with other people that I've worked with, or even for myself, you know, sometimes those seeds take weeks, months, years to water. I've been with, you know, clients where we've been talking about something and they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's really reminded me about somebody who said something to me about 10 years ago. We had this conversation, and it's like, it joins the dots. Don't underestimate the power of a small offering. It can be huge.
And also coming from that place of integrity, love, alignment, that's just a beautiful thing. And even like just feeling into that feels so light and fun. You know, it can be light and fun. We can dance in the light. We can have fun, even if we're talking about challenging topics, and not done in a way that belittles them, but done in a way that's with love and kindness and compassion, all new paradigm. And the third tip we've got for you is
to let go of seriousness. Invite all the playfulness to come in. Invite that inner child to come in and play. Now, Lucy and I were talking about this before, and I think we're a bit on the same page on this one, but I used to do serious very, 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 very well. Like, totally had it down to a T. Like, if I'm serious, it's head down, keep going, you know, make sure I'm on target, on goal, on track. And it was just bringing everything, the seriousness to everything. I used to do it in the way I used to manage people in my work, you know, in the old paradigm when I used to be an IT manager. You know, in those old days, I can't even believe that used to be me. But, you know, it's like, It's like, how do we bring the lightness and the joy and the fun into it? Let go of the seriousness. I laugh at myself when I know I'm being serious now, because I'm just like, oh, there's the serious Natasha. Just like, okay, I can be serious when it's needed, but mostly it's still, when seriousness is, we can still hold it with lightness. When serious moments need to ensue, we can still hold it with lightness.
And I always find that I was the same, like Natasha said, we were speaking about this before. I used to be so serious about everything. And I kind of lost my innocence, my childlike in my late 20s and early 30s. And and then now it's just come back because I realized it was really miserable being serious all the time. And also with that element of seriousness and sort of miserableness in my case, it's like no one listens to you anyway. And you're not coming from a place of, because you're not coming from a place of love or kindness, and also you don't know your voice because it is steeped in serious misery, like it's on that lower vibration. And that's what we're talking about. If you can get up onto the playfulness, the fun, the lightness, the love vibration, everything's so much easier up here. Not to mention that all the desires and everything you want to manifest is up here. It's not down here in seriousness and miserableness. It's too much of a lower vibration.
Yeah, absolutely. And knowing that when your seriousness comes in, if something doesn't feel quite right, it feels like you're pushing, you're working hard, you're putting in too much effort, and it's like it doesn't feel quite right, and you're being very serious about it. But I've agreed to do this. We've agreed to do something. I've said I'll show up here. I'll do this, but it does, bring in that sense of lightness into it. Have an honest conversation. If something doesn't feel right, open up to yourself. Be honest with yourself first and foremost. Well, what doesn't feel right? Then have a conversation about that with the person or people or group or whoever that might involve, and allow for something different to come out of it. And it is so incredibly powerful when you do. Lucy and I had a conversation this week where we really, really recognized that something didn't feel quite in alignment right now with the Circle of Light Spiritual Mastermind. And so we had to look at ourselves first to go, well, what's going on? And then we had a very honest, open conversation, and we didn't feel afraid to speak up. There's a bit of fear that comes up about like, well, not sure what the other one's thinking, but in that something, incredible comes out of that. And we just, like, the lightness that came from that conversation, I felt completely different. And it just shifted me, and I won't speak for Lucy, but I shifted me onto a completely different trajectory. I'm running a 5-day abundance journey in my Facebook group this week. It has been light, fun, playful, and I have loved every single second of it.
I think that's exactly it. Natasha and I now, because of our years of being in business, we can recognize when it's becoming a push, when it's becoming too serious, when it's not fun and light. And we know as soon as it isn't fun and light, then it's not easy. And then you won't get the results that you're desiring. But the thing that we hadn't done is, obviously, what blows my mind is Natasha and I only met February of last year.
Not even, well, almost a year.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. And then we've met once in real life, I think. That's it.
Only once.
So yeah, I was just on one level, I know Natasha really well because we're kind of made of the same ilk. But on another level, I don't know her very well at all because I haven't, especially in a business concept. It was our first thing together. So there was a lot of nerves there because I was feeling into it and I was being honest with myself. And I was like, the spiritual mastermind just doesn't feel in alignment right now. We had so much fun creating it. It was amazing results for the people, the amazing women that joined. It was incredible for us. I mean, I can't speak for Natasha here, but I'm massively upheld.
Yeah, totally speak for me on
that. Which meant that I could serve my clients even more. It was just such a beautiful, beautiful experience, and humbling as well. I mean, I cried several times because it was so amazing. And I was like, this is not feeling right. And then it took courage. It took courage to come to Natasha and say, I don't even have a rational explanation, which, by the way, is old paradigm. I'm saying my intuition is just saying it's feeling a bit sticky and pushy. But then Natasha had mentioned previous that perhaps we should do a membership, and I hadn't done it. I haven't done a membership before. I haven't really looked into it. But the more I felt into that, the more fun that seemed, the more exciting that felt, the more aligned it felt. And for me, creating a movement is a big body of people, and that's our desire. We want to move, we want to create waves, we want to create a movement. We want to create people to stand up for themselves and create the life and the business or career that they desire, whilst changing the world and bringing in the new paradigm. I know it's a tall order, but I know we've got it.
We have.
We've totally got to do it. We've got to do it. Like, we have got to do it. And so with that, it was like, wow, a membership. And there are a lot of people that are in challenging times at the moment. And we want to support you, but in a way where it's flexible. I think in these times, this is one of the biggest things that we've been shown. We've got to be flexible in these times. You can't be rigid. You can't be structured. Maybe a framework, but then it's got to be fluid within that. And that's exactly what came out with the membership that we're looking at doing moving forward, because it would be as much support as you would need or you would want. You can dip in and out depending on whether you're in a lockdown, homeschooling, whatever's going on in your life or your business, it would be there, and the other people would be.
Yeah, absolutely. And what, just on top of that, out of that was just like we were just sitting there and talking and having just a really easy conversation out of that honesty. And then it just felt easy. It became very clear what we needed to do, what we wanted to do. And it's just like, and then it's about taking the action. And Lucy and I, we know that this will be easy and it will flow. There'll be a couple of challenges, there'll be a couple of hurdles, but this is what feels right for now. And we know that we will still continue to do the spiritual mastermind. So if you're still interested in that, we are still going to be running those. But this is really about creating a movement. We are ready for change on a massive, massive scale on the planet right now. For those that are choosing to join us, we want to invite you to come and stand by us and support us and create this with us. We haven't got all the answers. We are shaping what the new paradigm and what the new earth looks like. And we want you to come along and join us in that shaping, in that desire to create something very different that is completely moving away from the old paradigm, where it is all about competition and it is about honesty. The one thing that you will absolutely get from Lucy and I is absolute honesty. It is just one of the things that we just want to share with people, how we do things, how we are creating this, the challenges, the things that we're learning along the way. We want to share that with you all, because it is all about sharing. It is not about holding on to anything. We are all trying to do things in our own way. So what feels fun for you right now? What is going to create you so much fun and enjoyment and ease and lightness and results? What's going to get you results? Because hard work, push, effort is going to be a very slow, long road to results. So ease up. How can you have more fun? How can you be more honest with yourself? How can you speak up more about your honesty? And how can you let go of that seriousness? It is all blended into one. So yeah, I hope you found that helpful. It's really been a journey for us.
It has, and it's an ongoing one, but it's fun. That's the main thing. It's completely fun.
Yeah,
and that's what we want for you. We really want you to dance in the light. And if you are interested in the membership, that's very super exciting, because we're super excited about it. We're just formulating it now. Then head on over to our website, www.circleoflightmovement.com, and there you can sign up to our newsletter, and we will be creating a wait list for the membership site as well. So all the details are there. And if you haven't yet, then please do like our Facebook page at circleoflightmovement.com. at Circle of Light Movement. And also you can follow us on Instagram at Circle of Light Movement again, and join the movement. Let's just create change. The world really needs change. It's going in the right direction, but the more people that can stand up for what is right in this world, for this planet, and perhaps the people, the animals, the planet that doesn't have a voice, the more we can create this movement of change, positive, good change, and the more the ripple effect will be felt for years, leaving a legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to know that the membership will be, really high frequency learning, sharing, collaboration, connecting, networking, and it will be very affordable. That's what the two main points of this is going to be: really affordable, and it's going to offer you an absolute opportunity to connect with other like-minded people and join the high frequency vibe going into the new earth and new age of Aquarius.
I think Natasha and I are already gearing up to be doing full-on channeling sessions in there as well for you, which is very exciting. So it's also for us to really come out of the closet, really own our gifts as well. Support you in creating the life, the business or career that you want, because the more you are on that high frequency and the more your desires are met, the more that the world actually changes. It's true.
Definitely. It's time. So thank you for watching. It's been a joy and a pleasure. Let us know where you're watching from. Type hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. Do comment. Do let us know where you are on your journey, what's important to you, and how you are creating more fun in your life and business. Share with us what you're doing, your tips if you have them. This is all about sharing information. Love and light to you all, and blessings.
Yes, so much love to you all. Have a wonderful week, and we shall see you next Friday.
See you next Friday.